Hello friends, fellow beer geeks. I'm Wes the Craft Beer Geek, and tonight I have a very special review for you. This beer is a collaboration between Cigar City Brewing out of Tampa, Florida, and Swamphead Brewing right here in Gainesville, Florida. So, I know a lot of you have probably heard of Cigar City Brewing, very well-known brewery, stormed onto the scene a couple years ago. They make some amazing beers. Swamphead beer is a little bit newer, a little bit smaller. Gainesville is a small town, but they make some amazing beers as well, and I'm excited that they're getting their name out there now, and they're starting to they're actually working on a production brewery where they're going to be able to do some canning, I think, and some other interesting things. Right now it's mainly just on tap in the North Florida area. But this is a collaboration that Swamphead and Cigar City did. They brewed this late last year. Actually, they brewed two different beers. They brewed, they're both American Barleywine beers. They did a collab. The brewers from Swamphead went down to Tampa and brewed one at Cigar City, and the Cigar City brewers came up here to Gainesville and they brewed this one, which is also an American Barleywine. So this is the Roosevelt American Barleywine, named after Franklin Delano Roosevelt. And the other one is Church on a Hill English. It's an English style barley wine. So this comes in at, from what I'm seeing, it comes in at 13% alcohol by volume. It's sold in this big 750 milliliter bottle, and it cost me $16.99, and I normally refuse to pay more than $10 for a bottle of beer, but for this one I made an exception. So it was very expensive for me. I'm excited to give it a try. I'm excited to give it a taste. Also another note of trivia here: Roosevelt is probably my favorite president of all time. So really cool. I'm excited to give this a taste and let you know what I think of it. So let's get this cracked open, get it into a glass, see what it's all about. Okay, so we got this poured out, poured a nice dark amber color. It appears to be somewhat cloudy, not perfectly clear. I got a nice, smooth, rich, creamy looking head on here. Let's go ahead and see what the aroma's like. That's interesting. An interesting smell. Let me see here. It's a very sweet, bready smell, almost like some kind of pastry. I'm trying to place. It has sort of like a baked cake sort of smell to it. I believe there is pecans in this beer. Yes, it is a ale brewed with pecan. So maybe I'm getting some of that nuttiness. It's almost like a sticky bun or something kind of smell. Very interesting. It does. So I'm going to go ahead and give this a taste, and I'll let you know what I think of it. That's interesting. Has a very, as you would expect with something that's in the 13% range, it has a very thick, rich mouthfeel. It's almost sticky, but not quite. Very, very hoppy, very bitter. But it's also very sweet and malty, so it's not like an IPA or anything where it's just all bitterness. It's very well balanced, but it's extremely bitter because it's extremely thick and malty. I get a lot of caramel, a lot of sticky, sweet, bready sort of, good baked pastries flavor to this. almost like a good pecan wheel or something, you know. I don't know if maybe just having pecan on the label puts it in my head, or if it's actually there, but it sort of gives you that sort of nuttiness to it. Very nice. They got a quote here from FDR. It says, "Competition has been shown to be useful to a certain point and no further. But cooperation, which is the thing we must strive for today, begins where competition leaves off." So, it's a good beer. A good quote from FDR for a collaboration beer in his name. It's very nicely carbonated. As you see, I can bring back the head. Some nice alcohol legs sort of running down the glass. It's not anything in the way of an alcohol burn or a bite or anything like that. It's definitely there. I mean, you can tell this is a very strong beer, very high gravity beer, but it's very easy to drink. You wouldn't chug this by all means, just because how bitter and how strong the flavors are, but it's just a very smooth, well crafted beer, well made. Okay, so I just checked into this one on Untapped, and it says 10.8%, so it's somewhere in that 11 to 13% range, I would say. Not sure what's accurate. Yeah, this is just really well made, and I'm not typically a fan of barley wines because they tend to be really sweet, but this one has the right amount of hoppiness to where it has a nice dry finish to it. I probably wouldn't like this with some age on it, you know. I probably would prefer to drink it now when it's still really hoppy. But I mean, that's up to you whether you want to sort of hang on to it for a while and let it age and see what happens and see if more of the fruitiness comes out in it. Or drink it now when it's really hoppy. But loads of caramel and baked, you know, pastries is what I'm getting out of this. Almost like a liquid dessert. So I'm getting near the end of this. So I'm going to go ahead and give it my final thoughts and review. You know, I think it is. I think it's pricey for what it is. You know, $17 plus tax. It's a lot of money. I mean, like I said, I won't normally spend that much for a beer. But you know, with a collaboration with Cigar City and my hometown brewery here, I'll pay that money just to support them and give it a try. I'm sort of excited to be able to hopefully in the future be able to share some of those some of the brews, the hometown brews here from Swamphead Brewery with you in the future when they start bottling or canning. I drink a lot of them just when I'm out and about eating dinner. I mean, I just had sushi the other night and I had a Swamphead beer with it, and it went really well with the sushi. I had an IPA. But anyway, back to this barley wine. Like I said, loads of caramel, baked goods, pastries, pecan buns, you know, sort of that sort of thing. Very, very strongly hopped right now. It's pretty fresh. It's only been in the bottle a few months. They released this back in February. Very tasty. I'm going to go a 9 out of 10 on this. It's really good, really tasty. Knocking it down a bit just because of the price. I think it's a little too expensive for what it is. You know, this is maybe like a $12 or $13 bottle, I would think. But other than that, it's a good beer. If you can, and if you like barley wines, if you like hoppy American style barley wines, and you think you might like this, maybe give it a try. You know, it's going out on a limb to spend almost $20 on a bottle, but I like it. I think it's good. It's a special treat for me, like I said, and you know, it's not something you do too often, but every once in a while you gotta spoil yourself. So this is a good beer to do it with. I'm Wes, your craft beer geek. I don't drink bad beers. You shouldn't either. We'll see you next time. Cheers.